Hi, Jason Tako. I want to thank you for watching this time-lapse version of this video with me. If you would like to see the non-time-lapse version with the commentary I made on location, check out my Patreon page. The link is below in the description. I have lots of videos there. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this painting and this scene here. What I was really after is the atmosphere in this. And you can see here I'm doing the block in. And this is the most important part of the painting right here, is getting that relationship between the darker uprights and those blues in the background from those mountains and the green grass, which is the ground plane, of course. And here I'm blocking in the house. And it was interesting, I remember when I was there on location, the house had a little bit of a tilt to it, which you can't see quite as much in the photo. But when you're doing your own painting, getting this block in is so important. The difference in value and color relationships between that background there, which is the hill, the mountains there, and that ground plane and those uprights. I make some adjustments to this background after I gotten things initially blocked in there. What was really tricky with this painting too was getting in those autumn colors where you can see in that background hill the little bit of light that's catching those autumn trees. A lot of times when I do my oil painting plus classes, when students will submit paintings like this, they tend to paint those trees way too intense in color, too light in color. It's very, very tricky. You want to make sure that you keep your colors very muted when you're doing this. Plein air painting, from life on location can be one of the most effective ways to learn how to do this, but it's still a little bit of a struggle. And even with me, the struggle I was having with this was as the sun kept moving across the sky, more and more of that background hill kept getting illuminated, and I was losing that haze. And the photograph you see, the reference photo, shows a little bit later on, when the haze was starting to disappear, the hill was starting to get darker in color, and the trees back there were becoming more and more defined. So with a painting like this, it's very important that you block in that initial impression as quickly as possible. And you also know what's going to change quickest too, because the house, those trees in that, and that barn, kind of shed barn over on the right, I knew that was going to not change for quite a while based on the direction of the light, but I knew that background hill was going to change fast, and those blues disappeared pretty quickly. So I made an effort to get those blocked in as soon as possible before I went on to the details in the house. Another thing here is the shape of that dark. That dark foliage, those uprights, notice how they create one overall value shape that surrounds the house and goes up against the barn. Now I break those shapes up a little bit with that orange there, you can see, but overall I want to keep that dark, and I made that shape more interesting. I tried to use that dark shape in those uprights to give a sense of form to the ground plane. That was going up on the hill there, and I wanted to use that to show the form of the hill. So that's something you can do in your own painting, is just borrow the color shapes and the value shapes that are there, and then use those to create more interesting shapes than what you're seeing, and also emphasize certain things that might not otherwise be emphasized or easy to read in your own painting. Another thing that's really important is getting back to the background, keeping that nice and simple, not getting detailed in there. One of the keys is to make sure you look at the entire scene, not zero in on just one thing, because if you zero in on something, you begin to isolate that, and then what happens is you lose those relationships, how light and how dark the uprights are compared to the background hills, compared to the house, compared to the ground plane and things like that. So once again, if you'd like to see this painting non-time-lapsed, go to my Patreon site. You can see that there. And you can join. It's about $5 a month. I have a lot of videos there, and it really helps support me. But I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below, and you can subscribe. And thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon.